No. Yeah, there we are. We're live. Hey, Jen, how are you?
Hi Jeff, I'm fine. How you doing?
Today is a special day, right?
Well, it is.
Are
It
you
is.
at?
It's your
Are
son's
you?
birthday. It's
It's
your
your
son's
birthday.
birthday.
It's my son's birthday, and it is your birthday. But have you gotten to a certain age where birthdays aren't really in kind of like me?
Well, let's just say I'm still 50 something.
You're still 50 something. You were 40 something like me. I will be 50 something in a couple months. So
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm 50 something still. But and so that's okay. But you know what? I saw that you liked my on duck soup. I saw that you liked my pumpkin soup with the three different orange.
I saw that too, and I saw your what I thought was your birthday cake too on your duck
Oh,
soup. Was that your cake?
no, no, no. Somebody from your site said she's was anyway. I noticed it was on her page,
Uh-huh.
so I shared it because she did that for Valentine's Day.
Okay.
But I just saw it yesterday, and I thought the plate was so pretty and the cake, and every day's a love day here. So
Every day's a love day. Every day's a love day in France.
yeah, but coming back to my orange pumpkin soup, I think I ate too much. My hair turned orange. Oh my God. Well, at least I have an excuse. I didn't get the right color when I got
Did did you see the meteorite?
I did. Well, I didn't see it live, but I did. You see it live?
No, I didn't see it live. I
Yeah.
was actually out driving when it happened, which was on a Wednesday our time, I believe in the evening. I
Yeah.
believe in the evening.
It's about 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Yeah, I think I was on the road actually at that time, but I saw nothing where I live because I
Yeah.
saw it in a local newspaper online on a local newspaper, and somebody had seen it not far from my house. I know that they saw it near Grenoble. They saw it probably where you're at, kind of Rhone Alps, that kind of to
Yeah.
the south of France. I think they might have seen it too.
Yeah. 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 I didn't see it down here. I didn't see it, but very impressive.
It would have been something, and thank God it didn't hit the ground. So we're all lucky.
Anyway, we're going to talk about driving, and I hope my voice is clear because it's kind of garbled for me. But I know you wrote an app or a book, an ebook on driving.
I wrote a yeah. Well, I put it. It was on my website because I had to take the driving test in France, and so I took notes and I put that on my website. And then I made an app, an iPhone app, and an Android app, and the company that I was working with, publishing with, like my publisher, they went out of business, and
Okay.
I republished it as a ebook mostly on a Kindle, but it does. There is you can get a PDF. You can buy a PDF. I'll put the links in. It's called France Rules for the Road, or it's called Rules for the Road. Should say.
Okay. Well, you might want to add an annex after this.
Okay. What's the and
I have been driving in this country for 35 years or more, and
right.
I still, um, it changes. And I I had to laugh because I saw this week, even, we had decided to talk about driving, and I saw on the news they were talking about the new driving test.
The new driving 1,000 questions.
1,000 questions instead of 700. They're adding 300 more questions to the test.
Well, you're not going to get. I think we should be clear here. You don't get all 1,000 questions when you have to take the test.
Yeah.
You get 40, but the library of questions has gotten bigger. Yeah, I know.
Right, right. But it's still. I wonder how the drivers, or the teachers that teach driving, they all do it kind of their own way.
I think as any teacher would, yeah, they try to have their. I mean, when I went my driving school, it was basically the what they call the written, which is just you just do multiple choice questions. It was just
Right.
constantly you go over you just do test questions. You do
Yeah.
2 or 3 sets of test questions, of
Yeah.
40 questions, and then they
Yeah.
go back over them, and then you do that again, and you do it again, and
Yeah.
you do it again.
I'm talking about just actually driving on the road.
Yeah, sometimes you're like, uh-oh, I don't understand that.
Okay, you know what really throws me off? And this is new. I don't recall this in the past, but there's a few spots where it's about left turns. It's
Okay.
about left turns. And you know, there's so many roundabouts, there's so many traffic circles that we don't really have the possibility to turn left very often at a four-way crossing.
Right.
But you know, there's a crossing down where I leave every morning, and I have to cross the national highway.
Well, it can be dangerous.
And there's a little tiny street that comes out right about where my little tiny street comes out.
Yeah.
And we both hit the national at the same time. Now, there's cars that want to turn left from there. Now, the national isn't very wide right here. It's just a two-lane. There's no bike lanes. There's nothing.
Uh-huh.
And when there's a car that wants to go left, and I'm trying to go left, okay, they actually want to go around. I'm supposed to go all the way around them, and they're going to go all the way around me to go left. There's not enough. There's not enough room. I mean, it's right. Ridiculous.
In fact, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to. How can I explain this? You're supposed to turn like this.
Yeah.
Whereas in America, we wouldn't do that. We would turn. We would go, and we would turn like this.
Well, we wouldn't cross each other. We wouldn't have to. You know, I would go left, and they would go left, and we would cross like this.
Right. Exactly.
Whereas here, they want to cross. But there's not enough room. I mean, I would almost have to go up on the curb
to do it.
And they would have to go on the curb on my side. And my husband the other day tried to do it with a car that was turning left, and I said, "Don't. Nobody at this carport does that. We all kind of know that it's just not going to happen. You just can't do it."
Right,
and he was really mad at the other car because the other car wasn't going to do it. It wasn't going to go all the way around him. And I said, "Stefan is just, you know." And he got really upset because those are the rules of the road. And I'm like, but they're not adapted to that situation is the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, they're not always adapted. The other thing I know that maybe I don't know if that's the thing that for me, for coming from Los Angeles in California, where you can make a right turn on red in Los Angeles, you can make it. You can't do that. Can't do it in places. Lots of places in America you can't do it, and you can't do it in France either.
No. I know, yeah. That's a no-no. That's a no-no.
Absolutely no-no. And that was one thing it took me a while to do. The roundabouts, or the traffic circles, I think we call them in America, those take a while sometimes to get. Those can be a bit hairy, because there's one where I live, it's really interesting, because normally what you're supposed to do is if you're going to go, in England they say go over the roundabout. You're supposed to go into the roundabout and then, kind of keep on going straight. You're actually supposed to be in the right lane.
Absolutely, you're supposed to do the whole curve, even if it's there.
But this one, you can go over, and there's another one where you can go off real kind of just before you do the other one. So what people do, some people stay in the right lane, some people stay in the left lane. And I don't know, we all know what we're doing. So if you want to go off to the turn on the right, you got to be in that right lane. Otherwise you're going to cut across the other person, and the other person, because you're not supposed to stay in the left lane and then exit, because you're kind of cutting off. You could be cutting off. Technically, you're not supposed to do that.
Right.
And when you look at the test and stuff, it's another one. But everyone, it's like the same place there. Everyone there knows that. This is the way you do with it.
And then there's some round points that are not big enough for the actual amount of traffic it gets, because you can't get in, because it's like a national, and then you have this little side road coming in, and you have to just kind of cut out there and get out there. But they get really pissed off. They like speed up so you can't go. What is that all about? I mean, I've noticed this for years, and it's like if you pull out a car I can barely see them. They're so far away. And I pull out in traffic, and then they're right on my tail. They speed up. It's like I cut in front of them. And there's this attitude. I want to put a bumper sticker on my car that says, "I'm not French. Get the shit off my tail. Stay off my tail." It just really irritates me. I think tailgating in the States, other than, the tailgating we do at USC in the parking lot for the football games, tailgating is illegal in the States.
Hey, it's illegal in the States, and sometimes at 130 kilometers an hour, man, on the auto road, they're behind you, they're like this, and they're
Oh, they're terrible tailgaters here. It just is really irritating first thing in the morning. So we've got left turns, tailgating, speed bumps.
Oh,
have you noticed that they're not regulated? I mean, there's some that are really smooth. There's some that are really long, and there's others that'll just wipe your tailgate right off.
Yeah, they've removed some. I've seen they're starting to remove some too. It's interesting. As people have complained, I know what they did. It was funny where I live. There was this one they were trying to do because there's not a lot of traffic, but there's traffic when you're dropping off kids to school. That 7:45 to 8:30, there's traffic. That 45 minutes, there can be traffic.
Yeah.
Nothing like Los Angeles. Yeah. And there was an area where there's a street where you could make a left turn, and they put a sign up that between these certain hours, between school hours, 7:45, 8:30, you couldn't make a left turn. People started stealing the sign.
Yeah.
And they finally removed it permanently. They took away the sign because the mayor said, okay, they're really angry about this. We're going to do this.
It's amazing what they do.
It's democracy in action. We can't.
Yeah. But, I remember hitting a speed bump outside of a little village, and I wasn't really even going that fast. But it was quite a ways out of the village, so I was picking up speed. And you hit that thing, and let me tell you, I almost went flying a couple times. And I've known, because I hit it going too fast. I've noticed that they took that one out. There was a lot of people that probably had problems right there.
Probably had a lot. Yeah, I think that it slows people down. It does do that. And there's some where's another place I should make a video. It's hard to explain, but in the road, they made like these these lines in the road where it's kind of it's very gritty, like sandpaper type stuff. So you slow down. Yeah. It's really interesting. I've never seen that before.
I don't know if I've seen that yet either. But what I was trying to say is there's no regulation on how high a speed bump is. I mean, it's like, the tractor is just going to dump as much as, they're kind of like, well, that looks like enough stuff.
That looks like enough for us. Let's just go.
You know what? I woke up one morning, I go outside, and they are actually putting a speed bump right in front of my house. Now, I live on a residential street. And from right before my house, they put a 30-kilometer-a-mile sign. Okay. They put a speed bump right in front of my house. And then 2 houses down, they put speed limit back up to 40. Now, you have people whisking up and down this street. They're actually going to change all this. But I didn't even know that they were going to put a speed bump right in front of my house. So when I back out of my garage, it's like,
you hit the speed.
It's really awkward. It's really awkward. Anyway, so beware of speed bumps.
Speed bumps and making left and right turns.
And beware of all the new questions on the test. And also, license. I still don't have a French license, and I've been driving here for 35 years. Oh, right. Okay, we'll just skip over that one.
That was a joke.
I know, but you know what? I think I already mentioned this in the past, but they actually want me to pay something like 3,000 or 4,000 euros to take this driving test. And because I don't want to give my California driver's license, because I go to California so often that I use it as ID.
It's what I now do is I use my French ID. I use my French ID card. No, nobody has ever said anything. I've been really surprised.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever said anything to me.
Yeah.
I use a credit card because credit cards they sometimes they'll say can I have your ID? I give it to them. I'm not going to carry my passport. I don't think it's smart to take your passport.
Right.
I use an ID card. So anyway.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
anyway, everybody can forget that if there's anybody.
If there's any Don's listening. All right, Jan. We'll.
Okay, I think that covers it all, and we might want to do this in French.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about that. But anyway.
And have a great birthday.
I will, and say hi to Samuel. Give him a happy birthday, and we'll talk next week.
All right.
And be careful on the road.
Be careful on the road. Bye bye.
Bye, Jeff. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.